there, welcome back. This is a What the Hell Is This? This is Argylle, which is now streaming on Apple, and this is a film that reminds me, if you've ever read the book of Born Fans of Vanities, Devil's Candy, there's a quote from one of the reviews saying you have to be a genius to make a film this bad. Because the Born Fans of Vanities was a good director, a good source material, good actors, and it was still a total mess. I will be covering that film at some point. Just haven't got around to it yet. But the idea is that no hack would go this far wrong. No person would be so confident in their abilities to pull this off and fail so badly. Like, a hack wouldn't do it. A hack would be scared by just reality. It'd take a certain kind of mad genius to make a film that went so wayward. And that's what we get with Argylle. But the funny thing about Argylle is it's taking the most basic pulp material and still gets it so wrong. But it does it to such excess. It's a weird sort of genius. No, a hack would never go as strange as this. Would never go as far as this for so many, in this case, boring ideas. But it bats 1,000 every time, and it always fails. It's such a strange film. It's on one hand it's very ambitious to try and reconstruct the spy genre, but on the other hand its material is so terrible it really can't work. Which reminds me of Born Fans of Vanities is their attacking the material was so wrong that it couldn't work. You know, it's like you have to be a genius, but you also have to have a blind spot where you're not realising this is not a good idea. You're too confident in your ability to pull something off, and then you haven't looked at material properly and said, this won't work. Do not do this. Right, so the film it's available on Apple. If you've got the Apple service, you can see it for free now, which I do not recommend. I mean, the thing about Apple is last year they released Napoleon, which was my worst film of last year. And this year they've released Argylle, which might be my worst film of this year. I'm hoping it is. I don't want to see a film this bad for the rest of the year. I don't think it's... I think I've suffered enough for Argylle. So, Argylle is a story about this female author who is writing these spy novels about a character called Argylle. And the books are bestsellers. They do really well. And but she's a recluse. She's just writing these books in this just in the middle of nowhere. She writes the books in her house. She's doughy. She's out of shape. She tries to keep in shape, but the thing that works but doesn't work is the fact that they make Bryce Dallas Howard in Jurassic World. She was kind of thinner because it was like an action movie. This one is like, no, try and look like a person who spends most of the time writing. Let's try to exercise but writing, so she's a bit heavier. And it's perfectly legitimate for a writer. It's like, if she was too skinny as a writer, you'd say, I don't buy it. But it becomes a problem when you get to stunt doubles, which we'll get to later. So she's just this kind of writer, neurotic writer, who's writing these books, and she's hitting an impasse for a new book. She can't get the ending right, and it's a series of books about a girl trying to find out stuff, and he finds out he's being betrayed by his own people, and he's going to fight against them. But she can't figure out what happens next. And at this point, a spy turns up, played by Sam Rockwell, who protects her from being attacked by different people because she's left her home and is going to visit her mum, and he protects her from all these spies, and they go on a run together and I try to work out why these stories actually reveal stuff that happen in the spy world, and in some cases anticipate what's going to happen. And then we go through a whole series of adventures. The first half of the story is she interprets all these things in the spy world and figures out clues that no one else has found. And does she have some psychic thing, or can she read the future or whatever? Now, this is bloody awful, this section of the film. It's ill-paced. The actors are trying their best, but there's... The things they're saying are so stupid that it's like hard to... It's hard to get a grip on what's going on. It's so dumb and so annoying, and they try to be clever. Now, if you've ever seen The Last Action Hero, the Schwarzenegger film from the 90s, you know what they're doing. But the Last Action Hero was a very flawed film, but it's a masterpiece compared to this. It's like, at least had excess of energy going for it. This one doesn't. This one feels lethargic while going through all these things, and it's not well directed. It's directed like in a very glitchy way. It doesn't feel like... It feels like Matthew Vaughn directed it. It feels like some part of him subconscious that he knows this is not working. And he can't find ways to get through these scenes and make them work in interesting ways. And he can't find an absurd visual style that will suit it so you can take what's happening, even though it's cliched or stupid, but seeing it as part of the fun of the world. There's lots of films that have plots that are dumb, but they've got a lot of verve to them and you can enjoy them. I mean, I'm going to cover Godzilla, Kong X, whatever. It's dumb as hell, but it's got confidence. The director, who knows it's dumb as hell. This film just feels like lethargic, and it's all these twists a bit. Oh, her mother's not really her mother, but she can spot a mile off. That's why, yeah, I'm going to do spoilers, because I'm trying to get you not to watch the film, because it's so dumb. So spoilers from now on, right? Just spoil it, I don't care. It's not worth your time watching this film. Really, it's just terrible. Because the thing is, I'm describing this stuff and thinking, well, I just stopped halfway through. When it's going through, your mother's not really your mother. Oh, there's a thing where the spy villain played by Bryan Cranston, she thinks it's her father at some point, and then it's like it has to be revealed by Sam Rockwell. No, it's not. And then it's like, is Sam Rockwell's character a villain, secret villain? Who knows? And it's like all this stuff, all the people in the world who are perhaps who she thought were safe, are they really? Now, you've seen this a million times, and you've seen it done well. This film does not do it well. It just bullets through the stuff, never has the... never stops to actually play around with the suggestions and the suspense of any of these sequences, because it's so in a rush to get to the next stupid bit, next stupid twist, that every scene's flat. If you remember the early scenes in Phantom Menace where it was going from bit to bit to bit, and there wasn't much emotion because they were in a hurry to get to Tatooine. That's the whole film here. That's pretty much the whole film. With worse acting. I mean, Phantom Menace at least had actors trying a little bit. The acting this is terrible. Even Sam Rockwell, who tends to be good, is lost in this film. I mean, there's bits when he's trying to be a clever spy and stuff, and it's like he doesn't have the material. And also because Henry Cavill plays Argylle in the fictional side, whenever she's watching Sam Rockwell fight, it cuts back between him and Argylle is what she's seeing. She's having a psychotic break and trying to say, okay, what's reality, what's not? And then, oh, this person's not who you think they are. And it's in a rush, but it's also nothing lands, and it's not interesting anyway, because you get the feeling that there's no real point of view. They haven't centered the lead character, they haven't centered the world in an interesting way. It feels very spy world, but very done in a very kind of cliched way. There's no like point of view that makes sense, and it's thrown at all these plot twists in a very random order. Like, they go from the train to deciphering this stuff, and then go to do your mother and father aren't who you think they are, when it should have been the other way around to build up the suspense. But no, they don't do that, of course, because that would be logical to actually bring you into the emotional side of the characters and slowly reveal the kind of weirdness. No, you go from event to event, weird to weird. There's no real build. I've just knocked one down. But that's the best part of the film. I had to stop halfway through because I needed a break, right, from this film because it was so bad. And I thought, okay, I'll go back to the second half. Right, let's see how this goes now because this is pretty bad so far. And then I realised that was the best half. That utter dreck of a mess. That ill-paced, ill-conceived. Let's throw every cliche in the book and then shoot them in the most boring way possible. Let's have no characters whatsoever. Just have people basically do cliches of the genre. Or let's do this cliche of the genre in this scene. How does it build a character? Does it need to? Oh, might not be reality, so let's not invest in anything. There's nothing here. And you have actors trying their best, but they've given nothing scene to scene. No logical progression. I saw a film called Hypnotic the year before this with Ben Affleck, with Robert Rodriguez directed it. I enjoyed it. It was trashy as hell, and it was playing around all those tricks. But at least they remembered to have an emotional move from A to B to C. So even if you weren't invested in the character or in the plot, at least the A to B to C made some sort of sense before it went crazy. And it was playing around with a lot of similar ideas. But at least that one, it was like, I had fun with that. It was silly, but it was fun. This one is just like it's just like they've jumbled up the plot and went, wherever it lands, we'll shoot that and we'll say it was intentional. Yeah, and that's the best half of the film. So, that's still... We haven't got to the worst bit of the film yet. Right, now, believe it or not, mega spoilers here. She is Argylle. Yeah, her memories, sort of like Total Recall, but a really shitty Total Recall. Shitter even than the remake. She is Argylle. It's her memories she's been typing up. All the clues she left to herself, she's put it in books. But it's actually stuff she remembers from being Argylle and being the character who's a spy, which should at least bring the plot together a little bit. But the plot still felt so dumb in the first half. You're like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. And yeah, it's still stupid because this is another plot. This is another plot line. Now this is where the weight thing becomes a problem. You remember I said the good thing was they actually made Bryce Dallas Howard look like a normal person who exercises a little bit but also spends most of her time sitting. That's a problem. You have stunt doubles who are all very fit to do the job safely. And whenever there's a stunt double in for Bryce Dallas Howard, which is a lot, you can tell. And it looks so embarrassing. And that's the second half of the film. All these embarrassing shots. And it's like, oh god. I only seen this and said that this doesn't look right. And then the second half is, and this is when you realise this is just a remake of A Long Kiss Goodnight, but done horribly. The Long Kiss Goodnight was basically a spy lost her memory and she has to get her memory back and protect her loved ones and defeat the villains. Shane Black wrote it, Rennie Harlin directed it, starred Gina Davis. It's a lot of fun. It's willfully stupid, but it knows it. It also has Samuel L. Jackson, who's in this one too. And oh my god, this film is so dumb. So you have an actress who doesn't match with her stunt double at all, and you've got a character trying to remember stuff and try to remember to be Argylle, and then to remember to be she's not fully Argylle anymore. That her identity after she lost her memory is part of her as well. So Argylle was apparently a bit of a villain, and now she's not anymore. And you have all that stuff, and you don't care because you never had a base character to begin with. So even just saying, "Oh, remember this character you were aware that was important." Well, they never gave you the base character properly. They gave you kind of vague hints of something. They didn't write it properly for you to really care. So it's just someone playing a variety of vaguely worked out characteristics, and you're hoping that you don't realise there's no investment. And then the final third becomes, let's go to the secret base and let's fight it out and let's have lots of action scenes, all of which are stupid as hell and all of which have bad stunt doubles. And basically have Sam Rockwell as a sidekick trying to make sure she doesn't go crazy as they fight off all the villains. And there's lots of action scenes, none of which you give a damn about. And it turns out they're on a tanker. Well, you think they're on a base, it turns out they're on a tanker, which doesn't actually feel like makes any sense, because the base, what you've seen of the base, it feels like a base. It doesn't feel like something that would actually fit in a ship. So it's just like, are you kidding me? Really? Like they're not going to work out on a tanker just by the movement. Like, if you're in a boat, you know you're in a boat. It's basic stuff. You can feel the movement. You know you're in a boat. And none of this, and none of the design looks like it's part of a ship. I'm sure they can say, "Oh, these walls are a lot bit curved." Doesn't matter. I don't care. It looks fake, and these are weightless action scenes where she and Samuel are killing so many of the villains' henchmen, and you don't care because it's obviously a stunt double. They're doing absurd things, silly stuff that make your jaw drop for how stupid they are. There's a whole scene with her using ice skates on oil to kill all these people, and it's just brutal but ridiculous and stupid, and you have no there's nothing there to make you think that we're actually interested in this. And then there's a big thing where her supposed mother switches something out so that she's now under her control, so she tries to kill Sam Rockwell, and it's boring. It's a simple twist and it's boring as hell, and this is meant to be an empowerment thing in the fantasy. Now she's the villain for 2 minutes again. It's like you're just throwing stuff at the screen and hoping something sticks. There's nothing here that actually makes sense, and it doesn't really build to anything. So this film is nothing works. Everyone just throwing hope for the best, and at the end of it you just leave thinking that was a headache inducer. That was just terrible. They try and do a final twist where Henry Cavill has been in the fantasy world for the whole film, and then he turns up at the end of the book signing at the end as Henry Cavill, as Argylle basically. It's like, okay, what's the twist here? And the big thing is, I don't care. I just don't care. It's not going to be clever. It's going to be embarrassing. Yeah, this is terrible. This is like, it cost a fortune. It looks cheap as hell. And here's the thing, Godzilla X Kong cost far less than this film, and it looks a lot better. You know, a genuine fantasy world's in it, and this film, it's meant to set in an elevated real world, and it looks cheap the whole way through. I don't know what they spent the money on, because it wasn't in the film. It's just awful. It's awful film. I just hope I don't see anything half as bad as this the rest of the year, because there's no excuse for a film that's bad to exist. And it's one of those things is, why did people not read the script and go, no, this won't work. You need to rewrite it and make it good. So that's the thing, is like, rewrite the script first. Get the script working, and then we'll talk. This script would never work. It just doesn't work. It's just squashing bits of things the director liked in a film. And it's just stupid and useless. And just terrible in every possible way. So that's Argylle. Treat it like the plague, please. It's better for your mental health to treat it like the plague. It's genuinely awful in every possible way. A lot of people embarrass themselves in this film. Okay, that's me for now. I hope you enjoyed this rant. Bye.